వారే గిరిజనులై భరత పూర్వీకులై చరిత మొదలుగా మహాభారతం ఇది రాతి భారతం.
Namaste to everyone. As I have said, prehistory was divided into two periods: Stone Age, Metal Age. Stone Age was from 60,000 years ago to 4000 BC. Metal Age was from 4000 BC to 600 BC. Within the Stone Age we have Paleolithic Age, Mesolithic Age, Neolithic Age. And now we studied within the Paleolithic lower, middle, upper, epi. After that we studied Mesolithic. Now we entered into Neolithic period. That is within the Stone Age itself, but the latter part of the Stone Age. Now, by 8000 BC, this tempo between the plants, animals and the Homo sapiens, as I have explained already, because of this global temperature, grasslands increased. Because of that, grassland dependent animals number increased. Because of that, man who was dependent on these animals for their food started taming these animals. So this taming led to a new occupation called as herding and rearing. Very important, sir. For the first time, Homo sapien in the Neolithic period from 8000 BC, he started herding and rearing of the animals. Herding and rearing of the animals. Now, not only this, when actually his purpose was to tame animals to get meat, but unintentionally he saw that plants or that grasslands on which these animals were dependent, those grasslands are giving actually some grains. He unintentionally observed that, and the moment some grains were there, he was thinking whether to eat it or not. Some individuals might have eaten them, we don't know. Some might not have be eaten because of the fear. Maybe is that edible or not? That might be the question. So some of them, brave Homo sapiens, took them in those grains, and they thought their hunger was fulfilled, satisfied to some extent. Then they started taking those grains. And they were also observing how and when that grain will come in that plant. It's a very important process I am explaining. Listen. They were observing the plant very keenly, that how that grass very keenly, how could that grain, when it comes out and how it ripens, the complete process of its ripening, its coming out and its branching of the grassing, complete plant life, he was observing. And the moment a ripened grain falls on the ground, again when rain comes, the same will giving another plant. So all these phenomena he started observing, and he started imitating that process. What he was doing, once the grain was ripened, he used to take all the grain and he used to take it to some other place which was convenient to him, and he used to sow that grain in the land. There he used to wait and see if rain comes, whether that grain was seeding out or not. He used to observe, and suddenly if a new plant comes out of it, he used to be very happy. Sir, please important, he was a Mesolithic man, understand, Neolithic man. He is not the present today very intellectual wise man. For him, the moment a seed was sown on the land and a new plant comes out, it was a wonder. It was a miracle. That's how the Neolithic man invented the technique of agriculture. Sir, this is a very goosebumps moment in the prehistorical time. The Neolithic man for the first time invented the technique of agriculture. So he was observing grasslands. The moment grains has come out of it, he used to take it out and he used to sow that in the land. And the moment rain comes, a new plant grows out of it, and he was very happy. This is how agriculture started. This is how animal rearing started. This is how herding started. Now, so Neolithic period is very, very important period in our prehistory, because this is latter stage. There were many inventions have come which led till to the sustaining of this human life. Yes or no? Today also agriculture is the only source of sustenance of this animal's life. This was invented then at 8,000 years ago from now, 8,000 BC to 4,000 BC, Neolithic period. In that period it was started from, exactly to say, agriculture was invented at 6,000 BC. 6,000 BC. Now, agriculture started, animal rearing started, animal rearing and herding started. See, understand a very important analysis. The moment agriculture was started, that means rearing of plant, a lot of samples of plant, saplings of plant. Always remember, it demands a lot from human beings. Generally, agriculture demands a lot from human beings. Naturally, the first thing is that they used to protect these plants which they sown from the birds and animals. First of all, birds and animals. Please remember, this is very important. They used to protect these plants from birds and animals. And the second thing is that till the plant gives out the grain, till that grain ripens, and till they get that grain. So till that moment, they have to protect that plant. They have to stay that plant. Yes or no? So these smaller demands of agriculture, actually agricultural practice, led to lot of changes in the human way of living. Till then, that human was nomadic in nature. What is nomadic? He was just running here and there. There was no staying place, a settlement, because he was a hunter. He used to move here and there. Wherever the food he gets, there he will take, and he will go to somewhere and he will go to somewhere. There is no fixed place to him. But for the first time, the moment agriculture was developed, he has to. It was the demand of agricultural practice that he has to settle. And agriculture work will not be possible with one individual. So normally many of these Homo sapiens of Neolithic period, they have to come together to do, for example, to harvest the complete grain, or to thrash the grain, or to husk the grain, or to crush and grind the grain, whatever the process that we have. For all these processes, they need many human hands. So very important period, sir. In this Neolithic period, because of the invention of agricultural practice, social grouping, very, very important change in the prehistory, which led to the history. For the first time, this Neolithic man, who was individualistic till then, started living together with other human beings. This led to the very, very smaller settlements just around their own agricultural saplings. Smaller settlements were started. They later became villages. They later became communities. Till then, the nomadic man now became sedentary in nature. Sedentary means staying at one place for a long time. So this nature of sedentism has come up. And now just imagine the moment two or more human beings are living together, we always expect conflict. It is very natural. When groupings were happening, internal conflicts are always inevitable. So the moment when agriculture demanded social grouping, social control was established. Slowly, the very, very earlier form of social controls. Like, for example, to say, the oldest of all those human group might be considered as a leader. Or if not oldest, the bravest and the youngest might be considered as their leader, to whom all these people will listen to. This was actually the need to prevent the conflicts. This was a social invention. This authoritization is actually a social invention to prevent the conflicts within these till then violent animals. It was a need. Now, in the Neolithic period, if you see, agriculture started, as we have seen. Because of this, the moment they harvest the grain, now they took them to satisfy their hunger. They are satisfied, and with the extra grains, even though a lot of grain will exist na, so that extra grain, what they have to do with that? So they used to either dispose it off just like that, or they used to store it. So how to store it? Here the human started thinking, the Neolithic man started thinking how to store this extra grain for future needs of food security. So what he did, sir, very important, very social, great invention, sir, very great invention is going to happen. Listen. So this Homo sapien of Neolithic age, who was actually thinking to store these grains, saw to the soil, saw to the ground, and he found that he took a sample of soil in his hand, and suddenly he added some water to it, or maybe some rain has come, or what happened we don't know. But when soil and water got mixed with each other, he saw that it is becoming hardened after once the rain has completed, or after some time from mixing of water with soil. This material started getting hardened. He observed that, and he observed that after that he started making clay pots with a roughly there is a pot in the sense not in a regular shape, but was a very irregular, just a container like structure with soil, with clay. He was making pots for the first time in the Neolithic period. Why? To store the grains that he got from agriculture. Now, so this led to the invention of pottery. Very important. Neolithic period is the most important period, sir. Please listen. In the Neolithic period itself, we have seen herding process started, rearing process started, village community started. First time sedentary nature started. Nomadic nature was lessened, and for the first time domestication of animals started. For the first time pottery has started. And now, after some years, when this pottery was doing he was doing pottery, pot making for storing the grains, actually he thought it was too difficult to do with hands. So earlier days, handmade pottery, that he used to take clay, he used to mix with water, and with hand he used to just thumb it like that. So I don't know the process what we call it as, but I am calling it as thumbing. So with that he used to make a container like structure, but it became too difficult for him. So he started thinking to make something easier than this. The same pot has to be made with some technology so that it can be easy to do. So in that pondering, because a need arose, I'm very sorry, because the need arose, that Neolithic man started inventing a new structure, sir. Very important invention, sir. In the history, this has actually changed the complete history in the latter times, especially in the modern times. This invention which happened in Neolithic period, that is for an easy making of pots, he made a wheel. He made a wheel with the wood, maybe, we don't know, maybe with the wood or maybe with some, what material he did we don't know, but he for the first time made a wheel. And what he did, he used to rotate that wheel. So the moment the wheel was rotating, he used to kept the clay and the mound of clay and water mixture on that wheel, and when it was rotating so revolutioning so speedily, he used to shape it. This is the traditional way of pottery you might have seen in the villages. So that technique of wheel-made pottery, not handmade, wheel-made pottery has actually come or started in this Neolithic period. So now wheel got invented. Very important, wheel. Now listen, very important. So from 8000 BC to around 4000 BC, lot of changes were happening. This was the conclusion. Lot of changes. For the first time, human communities started. For the first time, social rules started. Very real social rules, like a leader, like people. Just a earlier form of leadership. Like that. Pottery has started and wheel was invented. Now, After this Neolithic period, if you see, from around 4000 BC, now we are at 4000 BC, 8000 to 4000 Neolithic period. Now from 4000 BC to around 2500 BC. 2500 BC, if you see the next period, we call it as Stone Age has completed, Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic. Now we entered Bronze Age, that is Bronze Age, 4000 BC to around 2500 BC. So in this Bronze Age, actually, if you see, bronze means copper and tin, the alloy of copper and tin. That means first copper has to be there. So the earlier part of Bronze Age, before Bronze Age actually started, just after Neolithic period, we saw a new age called as Chalcolithic age. Chalcolithic. See, remember, in the Neolithic period, there were a lot of social changes happening. As I have said, people even started bonding with the relationship between the people started slowly emotionalizing. So this emotion started. People respecting each other. The moment some person demises, other people of the group used to mourn his death, and even they used to pay respect. That's where in the Neolithic period, latter stages of the Neolithic period, that is around 3000 to 5000 to 4000 BC, if you see, the first earlier evidence of burials have come up. Burials. What is burial? Actually, burial was a symbolic activity to tell that people are actually paying respect to the demised person, expired person. Yes or no? So in the Neolithic period, that is in the latter stages, people were, exhibiting, they were showing this, paying their respect towards the demised person by burying them. Till then, people, when they died, they just decomposed like that because they were already unmoved. There are no complete settlements. Wherever the person dies, they used to go other place. So just naturally, there was no burying at all. There was no respectful death. But in the Neolithic period, because of agriculture, people got collected. They became together. Social bond increased. Now this concept of burial come up. Now listen. Why I again went back to Neolithic age? That's you understand here. Actually, we have to discuss the Chalcolithic, right? But now came back to Neolithic because I have to tell you one point. When this burial activity was happening, remember, when Neolithic people were, digging the land for burying a dead body, actually they found some colored substances inside the what I should say, that burial. When they were excavating the land, soil, they were found some colorful material, maybe colorful rocks. They were shocked to see them, and they took them out. Those colored rocks. They took them out and they took them to maybe they thought that is a symbol of this demised person's soul, etc. Maybe they were believing in life after death. But these colored rocks, colored substances, when they were excavating for actually burying the dead body, when they got them, they used to take them and preserve them in their homes, in their the very earlier form of mud houses in Neolithic period. And remember, what are these colored rocks? What are these colored substances? They are the metallic ores. They don't know it, but they just used to go and keep it up because of their color and their coincidence that they got from the burial of their dead demised person. So they used to take them and they used to revere them as very sacred substances. This is how the first metal ore, first metal was used. Metal ore was extracted and first metal was used by the human, Homo sapiens, and that happens in Chalcolithic period. So in Neolithic period, this was happening the moment Chalcolithic period started, that is from 4000 BC to around 2500 BC. If you see this Chalcolithic period, Chaco means copper. Chaco means copper. The colored substance which I have said, when this burial when they were burying, they found the colored substances. Actually, that was copper. The first metal which was used by Homo sapien was copper. Very important, sir. The first metal to be used. This it will come. It's a fact. It will come in a lot of examinations. Copper is the first metal which was bluish in color. That was the first metal which was used by the human. So that's where the discovery of metal, the presence of the metal, was actually a revolutionary change in the human life. That's where the Chalcolithic period, the Metal Age starts. Stone Age ends, Metal Age starts from 4000 BC. So the first age of Metal Age was Chalcolithic period. Chalcolithic period. So when this copper was actually they were using in the Chalcolithic period, they found actually this copper, when suddenly it might felt in the hearth of their houses. What is meant by hearth? Hearth is the place where cooking happens normally. So when this suddenly copper ore, when that felt in that heat, it became hardened. It became hardened. That copper became complete pure copper metal, and upon cooling, that became the most hardened substance. Maybe coincidentally it happened, but that human who observed that when this copper ore was fell in the heat and became too hard upon cooling, he used to imitate the same process, and all the stone tools which he was using from many centuries now started slowly replaced by copper metal, because copper is also as hard as stone. But stone is too heavy to deal with. Copper is very light to deal with. That's why he started using copper tools. So in the Chalcolithic period, from 4000 BC to around 2500 BC, man was first using copper tools. Now, let's stop the story here. Stop the story here. What happened after that when he was using copper tools? When Stone Age was over and when Metal Age started, what happened after that? Let's see if we get time. But there is something to be discussed here, that till now we have discussed that 60,000 years ago to 10,000 years ago it was Paleolithic Age. In the Paleolithic Age we have Lower Paleolithic, Middle Paleolithic, Upper Paleolithic and Epi-Paleolithic. From 10,000 to 8,000 BC we discussed Mesolithic Age. From there 8,000 BC to 4,000 BC we discussed Neolithic Age. So here the question comes is that what were the places which were associated with these periods man? I said that first Paleolithic man was living and he was very violent, there was no fire, etc. So where he was residing? Let's see this portion, that what were the places which were associated with this Stone Age man? Because I said this in this weekend we were only discussing the first half of the prehistory, that is Stone Age, and the latter half, that is Metal Age, we will discuss in our next weekend. So in this Stone Age, as we have already discussed the analysis part, now let's discuss what were the places in India which were actually associated with these respective periods. Let's see the Paleolithic period. If you see, as I have said, the first group of humans came to around Gujarat coast. From there they habitated across they settled, they were just roaming, hunting here and there, gathering food along the river Narmada. Yes or no? I have said already. So remember, just above the river Narmada, that means the area of Madhya Pradesh, the present day Madhya Pradesh, we call it as Central India. In the Central India, we found actually, because of the geological reasons, we found many natural rocks, natural caves in the Central India, that is Madhya Pradesh. So that is the geological process, the result of geological process. Many caves were formed. So this man, first human, Homo sapien, who was residing alongside of the river, bank of the river of Narmada, he saw those caves of Madhya Pradesh first time. So he went there and he was residing inside the caves to protect himself from rain, from wind, from temperature, etc. from cold, from winters. So the first place, sir, very important fact, the first place which was associated with Paleolithic man, Paleolithic age was Bhimbetka. Please remember Bhimbetka, Bhimbetka, Bhimbetka. So this Bhimbetka is a region in Madhya Pradesh which was full of natural caves and natural rocks. So in this Bhimbetka, first human Homo sapien went and he was taking shelter in those caves. How could we know that? We could know that because in that we could see lot of paintings, lot of Paleolithic paintings on the caves of those Bhimbetka. This is how history is reconstructed. So Bhimbetka is one place, the first place to be recited. And after that they came, southward. Afterward they came southwards, the first earlier Paleolithic man. So in the southward, if you see, when they came in the Andhra Pradesh region, so very important, the second site which is associated with Paleolithic era after Bhimbetka of Madhya Pradesh is Karnool caves. Sir, in the Karnool we have lot many natural caves. So this first Paleolithic man, we have evidence and facts that Paleolithic man was residing, taking shelter in the Karnool caves. So Bhimbetka caves were associated with Paleolithic age man. After that, Karnool caves. In the Karnool caves, how could we know that? We could first time trace the earliest tracing of, not the earliest, but the very large amount of traces of ash were found in the Karnool caves. Ash. That means when fire was discovered, they were residing. That means even before that humans were there. That was the conclusion in the Karnool caves. So this is the second site associated with Paleolithic people. And the third site which is associated with them is just a westward to Andhra Pradesh, that is in Karnataka. We have an archaeological site called Hunsgi. Hunsgi, Hunsgi. So in this Hunsgi region, we found lot many stone tools we found. The Paleolithic age stone tools. Why? The question here is, why the Paleolithic man only resided in Bhimbetka, in Karnool caves and in Hunsgi only? Why not in other places? It is because, see, he was a hunter, he was a food gatherer only. No agriculture, no fire, nothing at all. So he was always in need of a very big massive stones. Yes or no? To hunt the animals. So wherever you see a very good quality of stone, there you see Paleolithic settlements. Not settlements, Paleolithic habitations. So remember, in Bhimbetka we have natural caves and natural rocks. That's the reason. In Karnool caves we have natural rocks. That's the reason. In Hunsgi we have a very good quality of limestone in Karnataka. That's the reason these were the three places which were associated with the Paleolithic man. So 60,000 to 10,000 years ago, these were the three places: Bhimbetka, Karnool caves and Hunsgi. Now in the Mesolithic period, the same because it is just a transformational period, maybe the same, just here just a small change in their residence, we can say. It was not a complete sedentary residence, they were always on the move, but just around these sites only. By Neolithic period, if you see, by Neolithic already we have seen Neolithic, agriculture was started, herding started, rearing of animals started, social communities for the first time started. So a village like system slowly started evolving, right, as we have discussed in Neolithic period, from 8000 BC to around 4000 BC. So now if you see, there are lot many sites to be associated with this period, because Homo sapiens were spread from these three sites and they formed lot many clusters here and there. So this Neolithic period was started evolving. Let's see what were the sites. Very important, these are very important facts for examinations. Bhimbetka, Karnool and Hunsgi were associated with Paleolithic period. Now we are going to discuss the Neolithic period sites. Let's come from north to south. If you see in the Jammu Kashmir, we have two regions associated with Neolithic sites. One region was Burzahom. See, this Burzahom is an archaeological site in Jammu and Kashmir. In this Burzahom Neolithic site, we actually found the pit houses. Very important, sir. Pit houses. In Jammu and Kashmir, it is a Neolithic site, Burzahom, we found pit houses. What were pit houses? These are the houses which were constructed in the underground. That means maybe because to protect themselves from the summer and winter extreme temperatures in Jammu and Kashmir, I am speaking. Maybe because of to protect themselves from higher cold, they might have constructed those underground houses, pit houses. And even in the Burzahom archaeological site of Jammu and Kashmir, which is a Neolithic period, we found in every house we found two common hearths. Hearth means the place where we cook. Two hearths we used to find. One is outside of the home, that is on ground, and one is inside of the home, that is inside ground. So that tells that whenever, if it was winter, they might be cooking inside, and if it was summer, they might be cooking outside. So this was Burzahom. Just near to that, there was another site called as Gufkral. Another site, Gufkral, Gufkral, Gufkral. This was also a site of Neolithic period in Jammu and Kashmir. Now, north was completed. Let's come to northwest. See, when you speak before 1947, India means Indian subcontinent. Important, sir. Indian subcontinent means the present day Pakistan, present day Sri Lanka, present day Maldives, present day Bangladesh, present day Nepal, present day Bhutan, and present day India. These were the 7 countries. These were the 7 countries which comprised Indian subcontinent. Remember now. So in the northwest, if you see, on the border of Pakistan and Iran, that means on the border of Indian subcontinent with Iran, we found a site of Neolithic period called as Mehergarh. Very important site, sir. Mehergarh. Mehrgarh. So this Mehergarh, actually we found for the first time the growing of crops, the growing of gross grained crops. In the complete South Asia, it was the first earliest evidence that we have which grown the crops. What were the crops these Mehergarh people grown? They grew wheat and barley. Always remember, very important fact, the first plants to be domesticated by humans were, first is barley, second one is wheat. Because they observed grasslands. Actually, wheat and barley belongs to grasslands family. So they were observing actually barley and wheat in the starting of Neolithic period, and they imitated the same process that led to the domestication of barley and wheat. That's the reason even till today you see Northwest India, they completely eat wheat. They eat wheat, they rely on wheat more. Historical reason. Beautiful, right? So Mehergarh people, they were the first, that was the first site which has the evidence of first growing of crops. Now let's come to Uttar Pradesh and Bihar region. We were discussing the Neolithic sites. Burzahom in the Jammu and Kashmir, Gufkral in the Jammu and Kashmir, Mehergarh in the northwest region, and now let's come to UP and Bihar. In the UP, if you see, there are 2 sites which were associated with Neolithic period. So the first archaeological site was Koldihwa, Koldihwa, Koldihwa. Koldihwa was one of the sites associated with that. And the second site which was associated with that was Mahagara, Mahagara, Mahagara. These were the 2 sites associated with Neolithic period. And in the Bihar, if you see, we have one site, Neolithic site, that is Chirand, Chirand, Chirand. This is the Neolithic site. Now let's come to the south. Let's come to south. In the south, we have 2 important Neolithic sites. Two very important Neolithic sites. The first site was Hallur. This is in Andhra Pradesh. This is in the south Andhra Pradesh. We saw a Neolithic site called as Hallur, just in the region surrounding of Kurnool. It was Hallur. And just south to that, in the Tamil Nadu, we have another Neolithic site, that was Payyam Palli. So these were the south Neolithic sites. If you see in the northeast, we have one Neolithic site, that is Davo Jali Heding. Very important name. Davo Jali Heding. DAVOJALIHADING. So in the northeast region, in Assam and Tripura junction, we found a Neolithic site where we found for the first time food produced, the traces of food produced, the traces of mortar and pestles, quaddle and querns, saddle and querns we found. So this site, Davo Zilla and Davo Jali Heding, this was the site. I'm very sorry, Davo Jali Heding. So these were the Neolithic sites. Let's have a recap. So let's have a quick recap of these Neolithic sites. Burzahom in the Jammu and Kashmir, Gafkron in Jammu and Kashmir, Mehergarh in northwest, that is in Pakistan of Indian subcontinent, and Davo Jali Heding in northeast India, Koldihwa, Mahagara in UP, Chirand in Bihar, Hallur in Andhra Pradesh, and Payyampalli in Tamil Nadu. So these were the Neolithic sites. So these were the places where the Neolithic period man was living. So now we have understood. So listen. We have understood that how could first man come to India. After that, we understood that how Paleolithic man was first in Bhimbetka region. How he was hunting, food gathering, he was etc. After that, we have seen how in Kurnool caves we found ash. That means how the fire was invented. And after that, we have seen in Hansgi also the traces of stone tools. And then we studied how in the Mesolithic period changes in the climate happened, and how that led to grasslands, and that grasslands increase led to the increase in number of the sheep, goat, cattle, etc., herbivores. And because of the increase in size of those animals, man started taming them, and that led to the herding in Mesolithic period. And we also studied upon some years in Neolithic period, that is from 8000 BC to 4000 BC, we have studied how this herding, the bond of herding became too closer, that how for the first time wild ancestor of dog was domesticated. And then we also studied because of this increase in grasslands, man was shifted his attention from animals to plants, and now he was observing the grassland, and upon time he observed the complete life cycle of it, and he imitated it. That's how he started farming. That's how the Neolithic man became farmer. So if you see the conditions by Neolithic age, they were almost like the earliest form of human community started. So there was a very important debate here that actually Ramayana, the so-called Ramayana epic, in which Lord Rama plays the key role, along with other roles like Hanumantu, Jambavanta, etc. Actually, this epic was associated with the period of Neolithic period, from 8000 BC to around 4000 BC. So that was the first time when agriculture came up. That was the first time when first social communities were forming. There were no social rules before then. For the first time people were coming. So to prevent the conflicts, they have to establish some rules. So if you see Ramayana was actually about when there was no proper established rule, proper established dharma, the so-called rule, dharma. When there was no, before that, first time Lord Rama as a king was used, was in a thought to, establish the statute of dharma. He wanted his people to follow those rules in order to, live happily. That's what actually the story. That's why just with a word of his father, he went to the forest. Actually, that doesn't mean that Rama was yes, he was obedient to his father, but that doesn't mean that was the only reason. The main reason that why Lord Rama went for that 14 years of exile because of the word of Dasharatha was because actually to tell to the people a message that how obedience to the rules, how obedience to the already attached values will lead to order in the society. Order in the society. If not, conflict will arise. Rama has to actually in conflict with Dasharatha. He should have said, no, I will not go. What is the wrong that I did? He could have asked Dasharatha, so that may leads to conflict. So to prevent the conflicts between social beings, there was a rule that elder people's word has to be listened by the younger people. That's why father's word became the destiny of Lord Rama. So actually analyzation of this even Ramayana. Now we came to the closer of very near to the closure of this lecture. So this was the scenario in the Neolithic period, that for the first time village communities are coming up, social rules are coming up. You have seen agriculture was developing, wheat, barley was started, rearing of animals was started. So slowly you see now the relations between different villages were established. And in this scenario of Neolithic period, after this you see the emergence of metal, as I have said. The moment metal started evolving, you see many revolutionary changes in the way agriculture happens, in the way excavations happen, in the way forests were cleared, in the way expansion of humanity happened. And in this scenario, in this context, by around 2700 years ago, 2700 BC, I can say, not ago from now, it was 2700 BC, that is when Bronze Age starts. So very important point, remember, we completed Neolithic age from 4000 till 4000 BC. From 4000 to 2700 Chalcolithic period, already I explained, copper was invented for the first time, metal started using. And by 2500 or 2700 BC, in this context of slow emergence of village communities and social communities, social rules, we saw the emergence of earlier cities around the region of river Indus. So very important, around the river of Indus, which is in the Pakistan, present day Pakistan, in the northwest Indian subcontinent, we saw the emergence of a new civilization, and that civilization is Indus Valley civilization. So let's discuss about Indus Valley civilization in our next weekend. And before closing our lecture, I want to tell you two things. One thing is, if you have any doubts, please do comment so that I will see them, and if I can clear, I will do that. And feel free to ask or suggest to change my way of explanation. Maybe I think this may be too longer explanations like that. Most complaints will be like that from my friends normally. So if you are thinking that something has to be changed, please let me know. If I can, I will. And the second important thing is, in the description and the comment box, I will place the handout, that is, I will place the notes for this lecture, so that please go through it. Just listening to the lecture doesn't mean that you learned it. So if you just go through the notes, maybe it gets imprinted on your mind, so that will help you a lot. I think I have covered almost every point about prehistory from 60,000 years ago to around 2700 BC. So now we stopped at where the flag of the Indus Valley civilization started raising up. So let's see what is actual Indus Valley civilization, how the earliest cities developed, why did they develop, and what happened during Indus Valley civilization. And this second part of prehistory, that is after Stone Age till Neolithic age. After Stone Age we have Metal Age. So in this Metal Age we saw the Indus Valley civilization. We will see how it went and how it changed the course of India. So till then, take care of your health and thank you.